Alonso Quixano, a nobleman from La Mancha, becomes obsessed with chivalric romances and decides to become a knight-errant named Don Quixote. He reinvents himself, dons an old suit of armor, renames his old horse Rocinante, and sets off to revive chivalry, fight injustice, and gain honor. Don Quixote persuades his neighbor, a simple farmer named Sancho Panza, to accompany him as his squire. Sancho, lured by the promise of becoming governor of an island, agrees, highlighting the theme of gullibility and loyalty in the face of grandiose promises. One of the most famous episodes is Don Quixote's battle with windmills, which he mistakes for giants. This scene highlights his delusions and the novel's theme of reality versus illusion, while providing a comedic spectacle as Sancho tries to correct him to no avail. Don Quixote's misadventures continue as he mistakes inns for castles, flocks of sheep for armies, and prisoners for oppressed individuals. Each episode adds to the comedy and underscores his idealistic, yet misguided, sense of justice, revealing the gap between his dreams and the harsh realities he faces. Don Quixote dedicates his exploits to Dulcinea del Toboso, a peasant woman he envisions as a noble lady. This idealization symbolizes his quest for purity and perfection, reflecting the theme of romantic idealism versus harsh reality, as Dulcinea remains unaware and unaffected by his deeds. Mistaking a barber's basin for the legendary golden helmet of Mombrino, Don Quixote takes it as his prize. This humorous episode demonstrates his tendency to see the extraordinary in the mundane, further blurring the line between fantasy and reality, while Sancho plays along with bemused loyalty. At an inn, which Don Quixote believes to be a castle, he asks the innkeeper to knight him. The innkeeper plays along, adding to the farce and satirizing the rituals of knighthood and the gullibility of Don Quixote, who earnestly believes in the ceremony's authenticity. Don Quixote and Sancho meet a group of goatherds, who welcome them and share tales. This episode showcases Cervantes' use of pastoral themes and provides a contrast to Don Quixote's grandiose notions with the simplicity of rural life, emphasizing the novel's theme of diverse social perspectives. The duo encounters Cardenio, a madman wandering the mountains due to a lover's betrayal. His story of love and madness mirrors Don Quixote's own delusions and adds depth to the novel's exploration of the fine line between sanity and madness, showing the destructive power of obsession. A group of friends and family, concerned for Don Quixote's welfare, scheme to bring him home by sending a fake knight, the Knight of the Mirrors, to defeat him. This plot reflects themes of deception and the thin veneer of reality, as Don Quixote's eventual defeat is intended to snap him back to sanity. Eventually, Sancho does become a governor of a fictional island set up by the Duke and Duchess to mock him. His practical wisdom shines through, though he eventually abandons the role, disillusioned by the false promise of power and the cruel manipulation by the nobility. Don Quixote explores the mythical cave of Montesinos, where he believes he sees enchanted visions. This journey symbolizes his deeper descent into fantasy and reflects the novel's theme of illusion versus reality, as his visions blur the boundaries between dream and truth. The Duke and Duchess trick Don Quixote and Sancho into riding a wooden horse, Clavellino, which they believe will fly them to an enchanted realm. This episode is rich in farcical comedy and further exemplifies the cruelty of those who mock Don Quixote's delusions, showcasing the sadistic humor of the nobility. After many more adventures, including being humiliated by townspeople, Don Quixote and Sancho return home. Don Quixote, physically and mentally exhausted, begins to recognize the folly of his fantasies, marking the beginning of his return to sanity and the end of his chivalric quests. On his deathbed, Don Quixote renounces his knight-errant persona and repents his past follies. This poignant moment underscores the novel's themes of redemption and the bittersweet nature of idealism, as he reconciles with reality and his own mortality. Major themes include the conflict between reality and illusion, the critique of rigid social structures, and the power of literature and imagination. Symbolism is rich, with Don Quixote representing idealism and Sancho embodying practicality, while the windmills symbolize unattainable goals and the futility of certain pursuits. Comedy in Don Quixote arises from situational irony, misunderstandings, and the contrast between Don Quixote's lofty ideals and the mundane reality. The novel uses slapstick humor, verbal wit, and the absurdity of Don Quixote's actions to critique societal norms and human folly, making it a timeless masterpiece of comedic literature. If you enjoyed this content and would like to continue learning, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. We hope to see you in the next video.